Hello, I'd like to introduce you to a fun project that we've got for 2017. We're going to have a lot of fun with the family Dot, and we're going to do a block of the day. So this quilt here is the block of the day for 2017 called the Daily Dot. So it concerns the family Dot. Some of you may have been aware that we did a block of the day for 2016, and that was this one here, the Town and Country quilt. This has been very successful. People have been really enjoying making their own town and country and sharing with others through a Facebook group and things like that. So that has been a lot of fun. So next year we're doing all about the family. So the family Dot are a family who start off, as you can see here, with Granny and Grandad. They've got their little family tree, and they did originate in the year Dot, the family Dot. And Granny and Grandad had two sons who married and had their children. There's a family home, there's the pets and things. So just like any sort of regular family, they don't all live in the one house. Granny and Grandad live out on a few acres, so they've got the horse and the goose and the duck and things like that. Uncle Dot, he doesn't actually want to have any pets at all, but he's quite sporty. He's quite an interesting character, Uncle Dot. So that tells you a little bit of the background of the family. And then there's a little bit of a story. All this information is up on the website on GourmetQuilter.com. So this tells you a little bit. Again, this information is up on the website. We're going to be following the family, have a little glimpse into their lives for the year, all sorts of things that they get up to. So come join the Dots for a year, basically, is what we're after. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the fabrics that we've used. We've used this very delicious range of Hoffman barley fabrics. The one that we did, the Town and Country that we're doing this year, was also done with Hoffman fabrics, barley fabrics. This time we've chosen to use, guess what, Dotty barley fabrics, because dots work so well with the family Dot. So as you can see, coming down the quilt, each row of the quilt is a different colour around the circles. And we're coming down, it's sort of very loosely seasonal. We've got some lovely spring colours through to some nice warm summer colours, to autumn down to sort of winter. But that's a very loose arrangement. It was more that there's just those colours blended so beautifully. And then for some of the applique, we can use some of the circle surround colours in the applique. And as well as that, we will need a few more. You may have a stash at home, but there's a beautiful range of the barley Dots, so I've included some suggestions for some other colours that I've used, and also some of the Hoffman watercolour fabric. So the Dots are the 885 range, and the watercolour ones are the 1895 range, all from Hoffman, and particularly for the flesh and other bits and pieces, so that not absolutely everything is dotty. And then we've used a lovely soft background one, which again is a Hoffman barley, to do all the applique onto. All that information comes, of course, with the pattern, or perhaps there's going to be fabric kits. You may be able to find all these supplies are available in a store near you. Some of the shops will definitely be getting involved, and they'll be hopefully running classes, running little meetups, all sorts of fun, so that Dot is really you can be part of Dot's life, basically. So we start off with some applique shapes and things, but I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing with the family. So there are actually 12 family members, and each of them has a birthday because we're running through a whole year. So up here, for instance, this young lady here is Dot. Her name is Dot and her surname is Dot. So she is Dot Dot. And she is turning 9. So she has her birthday here, and right next door we can see that she got a wonderful red bicycle for her birthday present. So that's all very exciting for Dot. She also has a horse. Horse Dot actually lives with Granny and Grandad, but Dot likes to go riding, so she goes to visit Granny and Grandad to go riding. It's not only about Dot. We've got baby Dot, who loves to eat. We've got the cat Dot, who likes to sleep in the tree. There's Granny and Grandad Dot over here. Up here we've got young Dot Dot, who has seen something that she feels requires some further attention, so she's shouting to her friend. This is Friend Dot. Friend Dot is absolutely amazed, because in actual fact Goat Dot is eating the washing. So there's funny little things like that that you just see in normal life. The children go to school, the family go to the beach, Granny and Grandad have an anniversary and go on a cruise. All those sorts of things that you would expect a family might do throughout a year. So there are a few other little things that we need. I'll just quickly run through. We're going to use threads. I've used the very delicious Orifil threads. Again, that's all in the needs list that you'll get with the pattern. The pattern is going to look something like this so that you get some idea of what you get. You're going to have pages with a picture of the block, a diagram of the block, and then the shapes ready to trace for the applique. So nothing terribly hard, it's all fused raw edge applique. So you need some a nice fusible product with paper on it to trace onto. And talking of tracing, a light box or light pad, something like this, would be very helpful. Not essential, you may have your own tracing system. And then as well as that, something to store everything in while you're working, a wonderful project bag like this one here with, again, wonderful Hoffman Dotty fabrics. Somewhere to keep everything. So in order to cut out the circles for the blocks, like this block here that we've made, this is going to be one of the blocks as part of the quilt, but this is actually a label. And as you can see, we've cut the circle out from the blue. And to do that, there's a wonderful Alpha circle cutter. This is like a compass cutter. So you can set the size as you will, and your local shop will most likely have these available for you. You can set the size. I found also particularly useful a small rotary cutting mat. So this turns and this turns, so between the two you can cut some circles relatively easily. I'm also, these are just recommendations, not essential, recommendations. A lot of the faces and other small features have been done with the Micron Pigma pens. I've suggested just an 01 size, a very fine one, because you don't want anything too heavy, and perhaps in a few colours. So this particular kit has 6 colours, but I think that you need to at least have a black, a brown, a red and a green would be really helpful. I also think a little ruler, 5-inch square ruler, blocks that we cut out are all 5 inches square. So we start out with a 5-inch square. A ruler would be very helpful for squaring up, just in case there's been any little bit of movement as we're making the blocks. And when there's a lot of applique like that, we're doing a lot of tracing, I recommend a mechanical pencil for that. They have a nice fine point, so it's kind of easy to work with. Also some tweezers for picking up small bits, and an awl for helping you when you're at the sewing machine, just manoeuvre things. That's always very useful. And scissors for cutting out the applique. Yes, some of the pieces are fairly small, but when they've got the fusible web on them, it's not too hard to handle. I found in particular these little applique scissors here. These are by Karen K. Buckley, and they've got a little very fine serrated edge on one of the blades. And what this allows you to do when you're cutting the fabric is it doesn't let it slip too much. That little tiny fine serration just helps hold the fabrics nicely. There's also another pair here that are by the Famore scissor people. They've also got a very fine serration on them. So something like that are very nice for cutting out all your applique. And as I've already mentioned, this one here has got the label on it, which I have printed. You can get printable photo fabric, or you may wish to write it yourself if you didn't want to do something like that. And then I've got the project bag as something to keep all your work in, is a really good idea. So other than that, I think we've gone through all the requirements. This is a block of the day for 2017. The shop near you may well be having the product, the fabrics and the other associated products that will help you get started. They'll quite likely have classes or club gatherings or something going on where you can join in with others. We have a Facebook group for the Daily Dot Quilt that you'll be able to join when you purchase the pattern. The pattern is available only through GourmetQuilter.com. The fabrics are available through your local quilt stores. So please do join us, joining up the dots for a year, and just see what sort of things your family will do. You may well like to personalise it for yourself. But it's all available, all that information, or you can email me. It's all on my website on GourmetQuilter.com. So thank you.